And give me a second. I'm gonna blast this also on all of our social media platforms, or you could do the same. Usually it takes people a couple minutes to get on anyway.
Can we see them
Uh,
actually logging on?
hold on. Yeah, you'll see the numbers. If people are seeing it, they'll just you'll see the numbers come on. So all right, Instagram is acting up. Do Instagram again. Trouble with that. Okay, cool. Instagram. Once you're live, if you stream. Okay. Okay, there we go. There. Let me just make sure we're live on Instagram. Mm, create a live public. Yep. So that's one person on. Hey, you
Hello.
guys, we're giving it a few minutes before we go live. So just be sure to like, comment, all that stuff. But hold on tight. We got
There.
you. All right. So let me remove this. Just letting everybody know we're on to Instagram again. All right. Mm. Okay. We're on live on Instagram. Yep. So if you want
Perfect.
to, usually what I do around this time is I share it in the group, or usually if you're talking, I'll share it, you know. Is that you? You wrote that?
No, I didn't write. I don't see.
You don't see the comment?
Oh, I see it now.
All right. I'm going to just let everybody know that we're live. So, yeah, we're
Comment where it
live.
says we winning.
Huh?
It says we winning.
Yeah, they put that up. I thought you put that up for some reason. I thought you put that up. Hold on. So I have so many. Don't worry. I'm gonna edit this for you. Don't worry. So like when you officially start, all this is gonna be cut out. But I do. I'm part of so many groups now. Like I just joined like 50 new groups
That's
and
good.
podcast them. Yeah, I mean they don't. Some they're mostly real estate groups and mortgage groups and stuff like that, just to bring in business. And so I'm posting this on there as well.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Look. Thank you, me. We winning. That's YouTube.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, you can start, and then people will start coming in, and while you're talking, I'll be posting up in the other
Gotcha.
groups.
Alrighty. Well, I'm Shianna Patron, mortgage lender, residential lender. We have so many different names. Um, Tonight we're going to talk about mortgages, of course, how to get started of purchasing a home. We're going to talk about credit as well. Um, a little bit about me. I've started not knowing the process, so I want to give back and help people figure out, you know, if it's the right time to buy or not, and how to actually purchase a home and get ready for it. Um, and that's of course budgeting and having the right team with you. So I'm going to be presenting. Where did it go? Ooh, you can see the screen. Oh, there you go. All right. So again, my name is Shianna Patron. Oh, my number is 201-903-5462. The little bundle job. You can see me on Instagram and Facebook at Shianna Kalola. Why do you need a loan officer? So you need a loan officer to help you figure out what you need and how much your pre-approval is. For the pre-approvals, that will make you aware of what you can afford. And I'm usually available Monday through Sunday. So 24/7, I'm available. Whereas some big banks and some other lenders, they're not available on weekends and evenings. As you can see, it's 7 o'clock at night, Eastern Standard Time. Most people are not available. I'm available. So you definitely want to work with someone who's flexible and have programs that is best for you and your lifestyle. It's best to do your due diligence and figure out which loan officer is best for you. And what's needed when purchasing a home? Mainly the documents that's needed is like your ID, 1 month or 2 months, depending on your job type for your pay stubs. Typically, we need 2 years of W-2s. So 2023 was the most recent, and then 2022. We definitely would need 2 months of bank statements as well. The only reason why we would need tax returns is if, for whatever reason, you have a business. So we would have to see what you're deducting. That's the only reason why we may need your tax returns. And then, of course, the application. Sorry if you see my son in the background. I put this here because I want people to see exactly what the difference is from owning a home versus renting a home. So when renting a home, you're giving someone else your money. You're not building towards equity or some type of savings. You're just giving your money away. I mean, some people is okay with that. Some people want to actually leave a legacy or they want to build on wealth. So they want to purchase a home instead. So when purchasing a home, you're building equity. There's no landlords you have to answer to, no rules. You have your own rules. Your house will increase, which is called appreciation. And then there's just like a fixed rate. Your rent is not going to keep going up, as it says here, which a lot of people are having issues with that. The inflation of rent is just rising up. Literally every client I talk to, they're saying, "Hey, I paid $2,400," and I'm like, "You could be paying a mortgage." So it's definitely doable. These are just the main programs that we do offer, which is FHA, VA, USDA loans, and conventional. You usually hear conventional FHA, mainly FHA because a lot of people think that is for first-time home buyers, but it's technically not for first-time home buyers. It just gives you more of a leeway because the minimum credit score is 580. Most people also have more debt when they use FHA compared to conventional. Conventional is a little bit more stricter. They don't like collections, judgments, and all that good stuff. Whereas FHA is they're relaxed. They don't, sometimes depending on the profile, they're not too uppity when it comes to that. Now we're going to talk about budgeting. I still have issues budgeting. I'm going to tell you the truth, but we still have to talk about it. We still have to figure something out to budget, whether it's about essentials or housing needs or anything like a goal. Definitely we have to talk about budgeting when purchasing a home. So budgeting can be the tools that you use, putting out fires, but mainly having something to calculate your bills and track your bills. That is how you would know if you're budgeting correctly or not. I'm old school. I usually write myself down on paper because I need to actually see it. And then I put into an Excel spreadsheet or something that will help me like, hey, okay, this is automatic. I know when it's coming out. I know I need to abide by these type of guidelines when it comes to my monthly bills. And depending on my goal for that month, I may splurge a little bit or may not splurge a little bit or at all. But at first, before I do anything, I have to look at that spreadsheet and say, okay, I have that $5 extra to go get some ice cream or something like that. Or no, I do not. So I've got to be strict with myself. That's all about budgeting. And that will help you as well when purchasing a home because we kind of look at that too to figure out if um, you're available to actually purchase a home, if you're budgeting. That's why we also look at your pay stubs and your bank statements together.
Mhm.
Now, these are some tips of budgeting. So you have to find out what the important part of budgeting is. If is it for yourself? Is it for your family? And then just simply create a budget starting from there. You definitely, like I was saying before, track it somehow and set goals for yourself. It can be daily goals, monthly goals, weekly goals, whatever you feel need be. But you definitely have those are the main four items you need to start with. And then, of course, allocating your funds. Like, what's more important? Food. I mean, of course, food is important, but some people
Mhm.
they like so they allocate their funds, X amount of funds for Uber Eats or DoorDash. Some people don't have to catch the bus or anything like that. They have a car, so they don't really have to think about transportation, things of that sort. And then also think about what you can cut out, like makeup, hair, maybe even um, no haircuts for like a month or so, just so you can meet your goals for that month. Do you have any questions as of yet?
So right now, we can go back to his comment. So he was I was encouraging him to reach out to you for to purchase a home, and he said that he's at a 770, and he says 755 across the board, Vantage, Civil, and FICO, single father. So I'm looking for something I can leave my daughter. That's what he said.
Exactly. And to be honest, that's a good mindset to have.
Hmm.
Because you don't want to. I mean, everyone's plans are different, but you want to leave something for your kids or your family members or whomever. But that's a good start to even have that mindset. It's definitely possible with that credit score. So definitely reach out to me. I am in New Jersey actually. I do all states right now besides New York, but I reside in New Jersey.
Oh, okay. That's great.
Yeah.
So definitely reach out to her. Her contact information should be in the description. If not, I will post it again in the comments.
Yes. So this one, I just wanted to talk really briefly about this as well. I did create a spreadsheet for those in need. Um, and most people are on their phones, or if not, if you're a computer, you can always scan the QR code. But you can go to any of my social medias to obtain this spreadsheet to help you. And this will help you save for your home or your next goal, whatever you may have. So again, like I was saying a little bit earlier, we look at all of these. Um, thank you for posting that. We look at some of these main. Well, we look at all of these main things right here. Stability. So we need to be sure that you have at least 2 years of employment. Assets. So we look. That's why we look at your bank statements to be sure that you're somewhat responsible. You're not just you know buying everything when you know you're supposed to be saving. Um, Now I do see a lot of clients do that sometimes, and I tell them like, hey, before we even put your file with underwriting, because they're going to ask, just start tidying up and figure out what you can start saving, even if you have to paper bag it. I always say that, even if you have to start making something at home and meal prep, because they're going to look at things that we look at the debt ratio, which is your liabilities whether you have car loans, whether you have student loans, credit cards, any inquiries as well. So we look at that too, like, hey, why is this person shopping? Are they just shopping for a car? Are they just shopping for a mortgage? What is the reason why? And then, of course, credit score. We want to see how strong it is. If for whatever reason it is below a 620, I do offer um, for free, of course, um, to help you build your scores. But it's not going to be as much as Miss Tamia over here. I can only like briefly tell you like, hey, you need to do this in X, Y, and Z, where she can help you out and dive deep. Um, so she definitely will help you with your scores and whatever else she can help you with. I put this here as well because some people they like to do credit scores on their own. I mean, again, I don't know. Again, I'm not an expert when it comes to credit, but these are the 5 different tools I tell them to use on top of using a credit specialist as well. I personally have used Experience Boost, which worked a bit as well. But again, it's not going to be as much as a credit specialist. Do you have any intake on this, Tamia?
Yeah, I will actually I'm looking at it right now here. Yeah, I actually will go into that during
Okay,
my part,
perfect.
but yeah, I agree.
Okay, cool. I wanted to put this here as well because most people aren't first-time home buyers. They are looking to actually become an investor instead. So I am an investor as well. I actually started with a multifamily. I lived there for a year, my son and I, and then after that, purchased another home and then just kept building. So it is possible. Of course, if you're buying a primary home, you put down a minimum. So that way you're not putting down as much as a considered investor. Because an investor, you have to put 20% down. But if you're living in a property, you just put the minimum down. You can start that way. There are some other options as well, like crowdfunding, which means you're just working with other people using their money. Like, hey, get 5 people, ask for about $1,000 and purchase a home. Other people do it other ways, like wholesaling, fixing flat flips, and DSAR loans.
Mhm.
And that's really it. But thank you. If you have any questions, I will still be here. Um, Again, you can reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook. Should everything should be in the chat, but it's at Shianna Kalila. Again, you can always text me 201-903-5462.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Well, this
No
is
problem.
actually Shiana's this is Shiana's show, but I'm so used to hosting and talking and podcasting. But this
Yes.
is no, this is definitely she is the host of this, so please definitely reach out. She just real quick, I'm just going to give you a quick background about who I am and our relationship and how we connected as I'm preparing my my screen, okay? But so yeah, Shiana and I are actually referral partners. She refers people over to me to fix credit, her client's credit, and then I am to send them over to her so they can get pre-approved. So that's basically our connection. She's an amazing mortgage lender. Her and I, we vetted each other in the beginning. So she asked me some questions. I asked her some questions. I just don't do business with just anyone, and clearly she doesn't either, which is amazing, which is great. So yeah, that's how we connected. I am a credit repair expert. My name is Tamiya Robles. I will introduce myself again as I do my presentation here. But I've been doing credit repair. I want to say, I guess it's been about 6 years now. I love doing it. I teach credit education. Up there's my presentation. It wasn't supposed to pop up, so let me remove it. I teach credit education as well. A lot of times my clients, I tell them, as much as I love taking your money, try not to come back to me. So if I'm educating you along the way, It's to prevent you from coming to anybody. It's not hard to learn. It just takes some time, and I understand you guys like to throw money at the problem to do what you gotta do, but you don't want to be a repeat customer for anybody. But I explain things pretty well, so let me jump right into it. You guys kind of already saw my presentation, so let me just go straight to the screen. Let me see how this is looking. Are we looking good here? All right, I think we are. All right, so excellent. And then when I'm done, I'll come back and address some of the things that I see expat talking about, which is really good. But again, this is a presentation, credit steps towards home ownership with me, Tamiya Robles. I am the credit repair expert. So initially, it's always going to be the referral process. So the referral process is for Shianna, for example, she'll have a client, they need their credit repaired, she'll send them over to me. So that is a process. Sometimes she will have an idea of what needs to be worked on. And then she sends them over to me, and I will focus on exactly the items she's telling me are the most important. Other than that, I'm pretty well versed. I've been dealing with clients that need their credit fixed so they can get a home. I know time is of the essence. I know that you guys need a house like yesterday. So I know a lot of times just looking at a credit report, what needs to be removed. You do not need a perfect credit report in order to be pre-approved for a home. Okay. So these are the steps after you've been referred over to me. There's a consultation. You have an initial consultation with me. You can schedule it with me. I'm only going to speak on when Shiana sends over clients. Okay. So when she sends a client over to me, you can either schedule a consultation with me for free for 30 minutes through my website, fixmycreditnow850.com. The name of my website is actually the name of my business. So there's no confusion. You can set up a free consultation, or you can just text me, call me. I'm like Shiana, I work all the time. I try not to advertise it, but I work all the time. So even if you want to call me and we can talk, right? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to review your entire credit report. What I use is a third party company called Smart Credit. You might be familiar with their competitor, Identity IQ, or you might be familiar with Smart Credit. Smart Credit is different than what Shiana looks at. It has the same information, but I'm not a mortgage lender or broker, so I need to look at this credit report in this format. And I get into it I explain it usually in the consultation because my software pulls the information and then it sorts it out and all this other stuff. So you do need to sign up. If you look in the description, I think, or even if you sign up, you'll see I have a discount for it. So you're good to go. It takes me 3 minutes to look at your credit report. I can instantly see what needs to be worked on, what doesn't need to be worked on. I do have a plan of action, which goes here, the next step, plan of action. So what I do is I look at your credit report, give you a call back, discuss what I see. Now, people always come to me like, oh, I already know what's on my credit report. I'm good. And you're not good. Okay. And until you get me, the way I look at a credit report and what I know needs to be removed, a lot of people think it's worse than what it is, and some people think it's better than what it is. So, regardless of what you think, just come to the expert. Come to fixmycreditnow850.com. I got you. It's not killing you. It's a free consultation. And then I'll structure a plan of action for you. Even if you're not quite ready to make a payment per se, you always want to at least have a plan of action, some sort of structure. And then I can relay that back to Shiana and say, okay, listen, they're not ready yet, but here's the plan. And I estimate this should take about, I can estimate a time frame. I'm not a magician. At the end of the day, we're at the mercy of the credit bureau, but a lot of times I can give a good guess of how long this is going to take. Sometimes it could take longer, sometimes it could take shorter, but I can give an average. And after that, you just start. Okay, we just start. Okay, if you make your payment, we talk payments then, and after that, you just start. All right. Now, what do we do after that? So after you make your payment, you sign up, you become a client of mine. I instantly start the dispute process like right then and there. right then and there. I don't care if you hit me at 2 something in the morning. Yeah, I'm usually doing your letters and I'm mailing them out. I have certain methods, certain tips. Y'all that know me, you know how I roll. But I work very quickly. So hit me up when you're ready or you're about to be ready. Don't waste time. It's your life. If you want to drag your feet, fine. But once you sign up with me and do business with me, I don't hesitate. Okay. After that, it's a waiting period. You have to be realistic. This is not something, a situation where I need to call you all the time. You call me all the time. We contact the credit bureaus. You actually need to leave them alone. You need to leave the creditors alone. Just let them simmer. They're going to get these amazing disputes that are factual. I'm a factual disputer, right? So that's why I get the results that I get. Just chill, relax, and allow the credit bureaus by law the 30 days that they need. Now, mind you, a lot of times I'm checking, I'm doing hacks. I got special techniques to expedite this. So if I do see early deletions, though, I am instantly sending out dispute letters. But in the meantime, you got to have patience. If you don't have any sort of patience in this isn't going to work and you're not going to nag me to death. Okay. I got you. Understand this is urgent. It's urgent for me. You know what I mean? So I'm representing you. In the meantime, what we can do while we're waiting is get some credit education. Okay. I got you on a credit education. Okay. We're going to wait. I'm going to send you some free game tips and tricks that you can do in the meantime to strengthen your credit report because you have to think you're going to get approved for a mortgage, right? When you get approved for a mortgage, sometimes that loan is not reporting for another 30, 60 days, tops. So that's a good thing. It's giving you time to build. You already are approved. You can't do but so much while you're going for the home buying process other than fix your credit, but you can start adding credit after you've been approved and closed on the mortgage. So get some credit education. I have a podcast. We'll get into that in a minute. I'm on YouTube. I have Facebook groups. I'm always educating. Okay. Boost your credit score. I'm merging that together. Boost your credit score. I'll walk y'all through it. There's so many ways to boost your credit score. Trade lines. We could talk about trade lines when I'm done here. Rent reporters, like the young man said in the chat. There's a billion different ways you could boost your score and strengthen it. You want to be careful though, not to get into too much debt. Everybody's debt to income ratio is different, so you don't want it to interfere with your home buying process, you getting approved for a loan. But there's positive ways you can still boost your credit or prepare yourself after you close. You want to check your mail. All right. So because I'm disputing on your behalf, I'm very aggressive in my letters. I put the creditor's feet to the fire when I dispute. And they're going to respond. They're going to respond. A lot of times, the creditor, the collection, the creditors, the credit bureaus, they're going to be like, we don't know who you are. We don't know what this is. So remember, I told you by law, they have 30 days to respond. All right, cool. The problem with that is they get hundreds of thousands of dispute letters every single day, and they really don't have the capacity to respond. They don't have the manpower to respond to every one of them. But by law, that's not your problem. That's their problem. So by law, if they don't respond to you by that 30th day, you can actually sue them. Okay. You can actually write another dispute letter and say, you never even responded, wipe the slate clean. Does that happen? It happens for people that are paying attention. But most people are just like, I just want this done and they don't care. But you can write another letter and say, you guys did not wait 30 days. Respond in 30 days, wipe it clean, wipe my slate clean. They're not going to do that, but they'll finally respond. But to buy themselves time, what they tend to do is procrastinate, and they'll send you what's called a stall letter, like, oh, we don't know who you are, or it looks like you're working with a credit repair person and we don't accept that. You can work with whoever you want to work with. You can do it yourself. You can have your children fix your credit. You can do it yourself, whatever. But it's just something they do to buy time. So keep an eye out for the mail. Sometimes the collection agencies or the creditors, they don't want to see you go. right? They want you to stay in debt with them. So they'll reach out instead of responding to the letter. They'll say, "Hey, settle with us. Like you may owe us 5,000. Just give us 4,000, right? We need to check the mail, see what they're talking about." I'm not a fan of that. We'll get into that another time. I'm trying to keep it short and simple. And lastly, keep in contact with us. We're a team. We work for you. So you're paying for a service from me, and I am working for you. So is Shianna. Okay. So if life is happening, I'm gonna tell you, don't get more debt. But sometimes, like the young kids say, life be lifing, right? And you got to use your credit for something. Maybe your car broke down. Maybe there was an emergency and you couldn't help it. You needed to use the credit. Communicate to us so we know what's going on. Okay. We're not living your life. You're living your life. Let us know. Let us know if you're seeing increases and positive things are happening. Okay. Because Shiana and I are going to talk to each other. We're going to talk to you. But if you're MIA, it's not really helping us. If you're really trying to get this house as quickly as possible, let's all stay in communication. Okay. So after that, you know, we go through that process every month until officially your credit repair is done. You're complete, right? So you're done with me. Everything's canceled. You stop paying me. You cancel your smart credit. We're done. We're good. The moment you are at the score that Shiana needs, then we're done instantly. I will communicate to all parties, and you will go back to Shiana and she will run your credit for a pre-approval. I will not literally say that. I'm just saying that's the process in most cases. There's other factors, as she just explained, besides your credit. So credit wise, you're good. Okay. And then after that, once you're pre-approved, you can get your home. Okay. So wrapping this up, just this presentation, like I said, I'm going to address some questions and things like that. But if this is how you get in contact with me, again, my name is Tamiya Robles. All right. You can everywhere on these credit repair streets, YouTube, podcasting. This is my contact information. Just hit me up at any time. I'm always available. I'm always willing to educate people. Now, I do, if Shiana, if you don't mind, I wanted to address expat. He was saying something about rent reporters. So let me get into that. Rent reporters, let me put your comment up. Rent reporters, credit rent boost, and a few trade lines. You can go to Jovia with 3 open accounts upward 20K. That is
Okay.
true. That's great. I'm sorry. Was somebody else talking?
No, that was me. I was saying okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's good money. I appreciate that. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, some
Um,
good information.
That is some good. So let me address a couple of things, right? So rent reporters. I actually did a thorough breakdown on rent reporters. I am actually partnered with rent reporters. So rent reporters, let's say for example, Shiana sends someone over to me and they don't have enough credit. Some people are used to paying with everything with cash and they don't really have enough credit for her to really do much with, and maybe got a collection charge off. And if I'm removing that, you're left with even less, right? That's where I was talking about building. You don't even have to get a credit card or a secure credit card. Please stop getting those stupid secure credit cards. You're playing yourself. It's a bad look. It makes you look irresponsible as an adult, right? We'll stay away from secure credit cards. But if you go to rent reporters and you've been renting, you can report up to 2 years of positive credit payments, right? Rental payments. And they do that within the 30 days because you got to give the bureau 30 days, like I said. So go to rent reporters and they can report on one bureau, 2 credit bureaus, and I think officially now 3 credit bureaus, right? So that boosts your score up. That gives you some credit. That gives you a history. If you're like, well, I am not on anybody's lease, I'm going to say this: be creative, okay, and I'll leave it at that. But get down with rent reporters. It's very good for you. Um, it is a service that you have to pay for. Let's get out of this. Oh, I'm expecting everything to be free, because if you have a problem paying other If you have a problem paying for services that are going to help you, then you might as well just pay for your debt, and then that's going to stay on your credit for 7 more years. So good luck with that. But don't cheapen yourself. Whole other story, whole other video. He said rent reporters, credit rent boost, and a few trade lines. A trade line is excellent after you purchase your home. Okay, I'm sure Shianna, maybe you want to talk a little bit more about that. Everybody's pockets are different. Expect so yes, trade lines are good to a certain extent. The banks are hip to trade lines. During the pandemic, before the pandemic, that was something that was amazing. I sell trade lines. I have access to over 600 trade lines, anywhere from $200 to $5,000 for 30-year trade lines at $100,000. Like, yes. But if you're trying to get a home, everybody's pockets are different. So you may not necessarily want to add more debt, because that's what a trade line is. You're attaching yourself to debt because that could affect their DTI when trying to purchase a home. So some people don't need an additional $25,000 worth of debt when they're trying to purchase a home. Am I right about that?
That's 100% accurate. As well as becoming a credit, what is it called? Authorized credit user.
Authorized user, yeah.
Yeah, we don't really like those at all. Because it's like it's your debt now. So we usually ask people to just either come off of it or have the primary person pay. And we need to see proof of that. So that can kill your file as well. That can hurt your DTI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest with you. That's why I love doing these videos with people, lenders like Shianna, because I'm not a mortgage lender. Okay, I'm a credit repair expert. I stay in my lane, and it's good to hire people that stay in their lane, because if you get someone that's not in the mortgage industry, they're not a real estate agent, and they're a credit person, and they start telling you, oh, the market is good, girl, you need to go down the street and get them get those condos. Your credit's all right. Did you check your Credit Karma? They don't know what they're talking about. You'll get a pre-approved for 500,000, and then Ray and them then gave you the wrong information, right?
Right.
And then you hit Shianna up, and Shianna's like, I don't know who lied to you. You could get a good hole in the wall for about
Yeah.
120,000.
Someone actually told me that they got a pre-approval from Credit Karma. I'm like, excuse me, what? You got what from Credit Karma?
That's a bad look.
I'm like, I
Credit
don't,
Karma
I
is
don't think so.
trash.
I'm like,
Mm-mm.
mm-mm. I'm like, it's
Mm-mm.
definitely not accurate, but no.
But that's the thing though, like, and I try to tell my clients, like I said, they come to me like, oh, I know this and all that. And then they come to me and it's like, womp, 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 right? It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be sad about. I'm a beast at what I do. I'm good at what I do. You have to be consistent with it. You have to want to do this, and you have to be willing to listen. You can't go in here like, I I understand there's YouTube, okay? I understand that this is YouTube University, but it doesn't make it correct. That's why it's good to connect with Shianna. She knows what she's doing. She's a master of her craft. She's going to lead you the right way. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, if Ray and them told you something and you just want to be sure, call her. Call her. It's okay to be educated. If they said something or other about your credit, call me. Okay. We work together. And this is what you need. You need a team, a strong team. Okay.
Have one.
Authorized users work with FICO 9. Boy, don't get me started. Okay. Authorized users. This is going to go from an hour to
Right.
2 hours. No, you're good. The authorized users work with FICO 9, Vantage civil pullers, not so much with FICO 8 unless it's 10K 10-year plus. If you get added to one of the primary, you would have to be responsible. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. Ray and them. So I'm gonna say expat in them. Okay.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
like
know the details on that. So yeah, you gotta elaborate.
yeah, I got you. I got you. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm not saying so. Everything happens for a reason. Everything is needed. It's not needed for every situation. Yes, trade lines can be good. What are they good for? They're mostly good for loans that don't care about your profile. Okay. Like cars, for example. A car dealership is not going to be like, okay, what happened 2 years ago? What is this bankruptcy? How old is it? What really happened in court? These are salespeople. They're trying to get this car off the lot. They're sleazy anyway. They just want to know, do you have your score or no? Right? They don't care how you got your score. They're really ghetto like that. You go to a classy car dealership, it's the same thing. You got the score or no? Okay. So that's when I would say get a trade line it up. Have go from a 400 to 750. It doesn't matter. They don't care about the profile. When you are trying to get a credit card in certain cases, get a trade line. They're not necessarily looking at your profile depending on the bank. Don't jump down my throat, depending on the bank, right? Capital One used to be the hood, everybody's hood go-to credit card company. They were not going through your profile, right? Do you have a job? Will the check clear? Yes or no? Oh, what's in your wallet? We don't care if you're at a 400. We got you. The interest rate is going to be bananas, but who cares? Now that Capital One acquired Discover, okay, now they're upper echelon. They're getting all new on us now. Now they're not playing those games, okay? But yes, a trade line will definitely help get your score up. They care about, do you have the income? Do you have a high income, low expenses? And what does your score look like? Not necessarily, they don't have the capacity or the time to look at your profile. If you're trying to get a home, they have the time. They got all the time. They got all the time. There's big money on the line. You have to be realistic. We're all in the business of some sort of sales. We love you. We want the best for you, but this is our job. And I have all the time to review your profile and fix it. Shianna has all the time that she needs to go through it and make sure, because not only does your profile, you have to have a strong profile, you have to prove to her that you can maintain your loan. Okay. Do you want to get into that? Because I don't think people know about that at all.
So yeah, we have to calculate and be sure that you can. That's why we look at all of your business, especially when it comes to underwriting. They're going to ask questions. Sometimes they may even ask you to write a letter as to why you're making deposits or making so many withdrawals or anything they're going to ask. They may ask for a letter. So when you come to me, I have to look at your bank statements. Even if you have, like, for instance, a bankruptcy, I need to know, why did you have this bankruptcy and for how long did you have this bankruptcy? And you might have to write a letter on that too. When it comes to underwriting, they're just a second person that's looking at the file to be sure that you can make your payments and that there's not going to be a risk to the bank, or they're not going to lend to you at all. They don't care what your score look like, 800. If you look risky to them, they're not going to lend to you at all.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um,
And
it says
oh, I'm
AU
sorry.
trade. Go ahead.
No, ma'am. Go ahead. I got you.
Now I was gonna
Go ahead.
read what it says. We winning said. AU trade lines are iffy as SF, okay, but they know that your lender comes into play. What's the AU trade line?
Authorized user. So a
Oh
credit card where you're authorized
yeah,
user.
okay. See, I don't even know all the credits.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right,
but
exactly.
see,
So
that's the
that's why
thing.
we don't like them at all. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
Yep.
here's the thing. It's that underwriter. When you were talking about, it's the underwriter,
Mhm.
y'all. They they go through things with an even finer tooth comb.
Yes, they
So
do. I literally argue with the underwriters all the time, back and forth. Like,
mhm.
no, you can't do any exceptions. What else do I need? Like, they they just want to shut down a loan. Even if it's a perfect loan, they're going to find something.
Hmm. Hmm. That's why you need
Yes.
a team that works on your behalf. That's why we're saying, be careful of what you hear on the streets. And when you go on a live and a young man named Expert comes on and encourages you to get a $25,000 trade line, when you know, when you're in the process of buying a home and you work at McDonald's, like that's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? Like it might work after you get
Not
the home, but you got to get
McDonald's.
that whip. You know what I'm
Exactly. Nope. Mm-mm. And not for nothing, most people like on YouTube, all these gurus and stuff, they don't tell you all the steps. They just tell you the gushy stuff that you want to hear. They don't tell you from A to Z. So you definitely have to have a team that someone's gonna work for you and figure out like a plan, um, and go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree. He said knowing your lender underwriting process is a must. A lot of people
Yes,
don't know that. Mm-mm. And
and
while
knowing, and I always tell people to ask, even if they don't use me, ask if underwriting is in house, because if it's not in
mm,
house, it takes even longer to get like responses from underwriters, and you don't want to
mhm,
delay your closing either. Underwriters can hold up files even if it's in house, but if it's out house, meaning they're not in that particular company, where I could just pick up a phone and say, "Hey, what's going on?" or just send them an email and they'll get right back to me same day. But definitely ask, even for processing, make sure that it's in house as well.
mm, yeah. Yeah. And then you know, like I said, even if you're not quite ready to purchase, I would reach out to her. So I have a question for you on behalf of what some clients um, had some issues they have or concerns they have, and they bring it to me. Um, how soon should they come to you, even if they're not quite ready to purchase, but they want to like I guess another process and have some questions, or they're thinking about buying a house. How soon should they come to you, and when is it too far down the road, like 2 3 years, like is that just too far down the road? What's a good
Um,
time?
I feel like a year to 6 months is a good time.
Okay.
Only because definitely if they feel like they're more than ready, definitely a year to 6 months. Now, if they're not sure and I don't want to look at the credit, because I do soft pulls, so I don't do any hard inquiries until actually underwriting sees everything. Um, so I'll have them do like a soft pull to figure out where they are, um, and say, hey, you need to work on this for about 3 6 months. Um, but if they think it's like really bad and no, they need to wait at least a year to a year and a half. But I usually say a year to 6 months.
Okay.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay. Another thing, too, I would like to talk. I would like to bring up, and expat. I just like messing with people. Just, I love. Thank you for bringing up. I didn't have any to say. We're from the East Coast. Like, listen, you got thick skin, okay? But no, when we make fun of you, we love you. That's all it is.
Yep.
So we'll make sure you go to Shianna for your loan for your
That
house.
means we
But
care about you.
yeah. So we can make fun of you in your new home, okay?
Yep.
So no, I'm joking. But no, one of the things that this has been a regular problem. It's like a good problem to have, but one of the issues that I have as a credit repair expert is because the common statement is we weren't taught this in school. I didn't know, blah, blah. And then they're learning all this stuff from me and I'm deleting and their scores increasing. They go from wanting to buy a home to, oh my God, I didn't know I could get a 600, a 700. And then they're like, you know what? Bump that house. I'm going to go get a car.
Yeah.
No, no. Go get a house and then get a car. You can't live it. Well, you can live in your car. Do you want to? You know what I'm saying? But it depreciates in value. Like, what if life be life and you're trying to, you can pull equity from your home.
That-
It's benefiting you to have a home. But I've had plenty of situations where, like, there's this one guy, this was like a year to almost 2 years ago, and I was deleting stuff and his score kept going up, and he really needed a house for him and his sick mom. It was all planned out, but he saw his credit score go up. He said, F that house. I'm going to get credit cards. He was like, Miss Tamiya, I want you to be with me forever. I said, no, I need you to get a house. Like, we, I will be here for you, but get your house first. Like, honestly, having a house on your credit report is baller. It is, because to have 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, that means a bank trusted you so much. They were willing to give you that much money. What do you think the other banks are going to do? So, but if they see the car and these little secure credit cards, that's not balling. What's balling is when you got a $500,000 mortgage, 300,000, two, whatever the
Yep.
case may be. That's what you want.
Yeah, but it's
Mm,
all about mindset. So, like you said, most people don't think that they can do it because they don't know that they can do it. So they need someone, a team like us, to help them.
mhm,
Like, hey, motivate them and say, hey, you can do it. These are the steps to do it, so they can get
mm,
out of that mindset. Like, oh, I can't do it. And matter of fact, when I do see it, oh, I want to go get a car, because that is the. I actually had a client who said that to me too. Oh, I'm pre-approved now. We're putting your offers, but I really want a car, and I'm like,
mhm,
do not do it.
mhm.
Just wait, please wait at least
Wait.
a month
Mhm,
after, because even I wouldn't even say after closing right away, because something still can happen. Like, you could lose your job, God forbid. You could lapse on like one payment or something like that.
mhm,
Underwritings are still looking. They still looking even after you close. They're gonna
mhm,
find out something. Like, technically someone is supposed to go out to the home to be sure that you're actually living there. So there are people, actually
mhm.
reporters, actually going out to see if you live there still.
I didn't
Um
know that.
a lot of people, yeah, a lot
I
of
didn't
people
know
don't know
that.
that. So that's why I say
Mm,
at least a month after. Don't do it right after closing either. But yeah, it's definitely that mindset.
mm.
Having a team out there helping you. Like, you could do it. Don't think about a car. Don't think about no vacation. You need to think about getting this house, building some wealth.
And then that's gonna, like, let's, like I said, sometimes it happens. It just but please communicate to us. Like, let us know so we have an idea. And there might be other options that we can offer you, but we do understand though that sometimes there's just absolutely nothing you can do. But you could tell those who are desperate. They just, their car broke down, and
Yeah.
they're not trying to get like a Mercedes or something. They just need transportation to get to work, to maintain this. Another question, that has been a common thing that maybe you might want to address, if you don't mind, is this happened to me with my first house. I hated my job so much. I was already doing credit repair, but I would wanted to leave. And I had this whole diabolical plan. It was amazing. I did execute the plan, but my lender almost cursed me out to make sure I didn't quit. They were like, "Yo, you better keep
Yeah.
this mother effing job," right? But what about people that hate their job so much, but they're literally like almost done with me. As soon as they're done with me, will probably be approved. What do you say to people that are like, I need to quit my job? I'm sorry, I hate it here. What do you say to that?
So I would tell them to hold out. Only because if they make any changes, underwriters gonna ask. They're gonna like, why? Why did you do this? Even if it's within the same field or like a different department downstairs or something like that, they're gonna want a lengthy reason why you did it. Um, Now let's say you did it before actually getting pre-approved. That's fine, but it has to be no gaps, and it has to be within the same field. But if you already got pre-approved, you put in offers, and you already got an offer accepted, you're gonna have to hold out as long as you could, because it looks
Mhm.
really bad.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
can change jobs after that month of closing.
I didn't know it was a month. I was telling people a day. I didn't know it was a month, but I didn't know people come out and all that stuff either. So,
Yeah.
see, this is why you got to stay in your lane, people. Like, this is why, you know what I mean? I didn't know. I was like, yeah, the next day you could do what you want. So,
Yeah,
when I
because it's
bought,
considered what is it called? Occupancy a fraud.
really?
Meaning like you're not, yeah, that you don't actually live in the house, so they want to be sure that you actually live there.
Wait. So, I have to wait of the new house?
Yeah. You have to
Why
move in the
would I
house
do
within.
something fraudulent? Why would I go through all this and not?
There's some people who will, like for instance, say like you want to buy a house, but you don't have the credit or whatever like that. So, or I don't have the credit, whatever the case may be. So I'll put the loan in my name, saying that I'm not going to live there with you. But technically, I'm not living there.
Mm,
It's only you
um,
living there. So they want to check to see that we both living there. Or whereas I purchase a home, but I don't move in until let's say like 6 months after. They want to be sure that you're in that house after closing, and it's actually 60 days you have to be in that home.
that's
They're gonna check.
crazy.
Yeah, they're gonna check.
And then what? And then then what happens? They pull the loan.
Yes, if you do not, if they find out you do not live there, they recall the loan, meaning that you got to pay that whole loan back up front.
That's wild. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Okay, but don't I mean is that an audit thing or do they have to be triggered or
So it
what would
depends. It
happen?
can be triggered. So I had a client who he wanted to purchase a home. He said he was gonna live there, but then something came up when he was like, "Oh, no, I'm not gonna live there." When he told me that, I'm like, "Oh shit." Now I gotta report
Mm,
it because you're not planning to live
uh,
there. So that's a red flag. And then even if I do lie and say, "Oh, he's gonna live there," they're gonna want to know because he had a home already. They want to know why you're gonna move from your place of residence now and go to that home. So it would have been a
mm,
red flag regardless because they're doing
okay.
the research. Yeah, it's triggered.
I didn't even think
It
of it
is
like
triggered. They're gonna
that.
find out
I
everything.
didn't That's wild. It didn't cross my mind to think of it. All right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I gotta stay in my lane, man. I gotta stay in my lane.
Yep, I tell people
Wow.
at least a month.
A month. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Well, so far, what y'all talking about, bruh? What we went and got the angry faces. What did we miss in these streets? But yeah, so we're coming up on an hour. Just wanted to remind you guys, please comment, like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys.
Yes.
Our rider dies in the comment section. We went in and I don't want to mess your name. Expat 1280. I appreciate that. Like, I know there's people checking us out on other platforms. Just a reminder, you guys, we're on StreamYard, so we're not on the platform you're watching us under. So if you have StreamYard or you want to see your name on display or whatever, you just got to get on StreamYard. But other than that, we'll still see your comments. But be sure to check out Shianna. Her information,
Yes.
I'll put
And
it
I'm
back up
always
again.
available.
Let me put it back up there again so they can see it. And it is in the description. And we were talking about making this a regular thing. I'll leave that up to her. But if you guys have any questions, concerns, anything in particular you want us to
Yeah, or if
address,
you have like any ideas that we should talk about for the next time, and we'll bring it over to you guys.
definitely would love to do that for sure. But in the meantime, you wanna take us out, Miss Shiana?
Yes, so thank you all for joining wherever you're joining from. Sorry if you hear background noise, it's my dog. Um Everyone wants to be in the background today. Um Again, my name is Shianna Patron. I am a loan officer with PRMG, residing in New Jersey, but I do all loans through all states of the US except for New York at the moment. I can be reached at 201-903-5462, and you can text me anytime. I don't care if it's like nowish, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I'm gonna text back. You might not get like a full text. I might just respond to you like, "Hey, good evening. Let's schedule a time." But even if you have like a simple question on how to get started, don't be afraid. You got to start somewhere. Everyone starts somewhere. Yep.
That's
So
right. And thank you for allowing me to be a part of your video here. I appreciate it. I'm glad I can share the platform or whatever. But you guys have my information as well. It's Tamiya Robles, fixmycreditnow50.com. Definitely reach out to if you're definitely going to go through Shianna, I would prefer that you go to her first before you come to me, because all I'm going to do is send you over to Shianna like first. But yeah, just go to her first, because you might not always need credit repair. Some people don't need credit repair. You just might need some advice. Okay. So in the meantime, I wish you guys the best of luck on your credit journey, and I'll see you guys next time.
next time, good night.